Our journey begins day 109, September 17, 2024. And I just wanted to talk about the reality of being a decent person, living in the world as it is right now. And I don't want this to be like this is actually like an exceptionally good person who is like trying to live in a world that's not fair to him. That's not what I'm saying. First of all, because obviously I'm not perfect. Obviously I'm not the best person there is. Obviously I could be doing a better job given the life that I have. Obviously I could feel like even more of a person who should make the best of what they have, and I could do even more to make the best of what I have. And the second thing is that the world isn't fair for everyone. It's not just, and that's certainly not the way I think about it. The world is the way it is, regardless of how we're acting in it. But basically, the idea is that I like to think that I'm at least somewhat of a decent person. Generally, my intentions are decent, and the world around me is strange because basically the reality is that I'm here thinking of all the ways that I want to help the world. But as you saw from yesterday's video, that's a big plan. That's a lot of work. It's way too much work to do while being distracted and living in the major difficulties that are presented when working within this sort of world where it's sort of this not very coordinated effort, this area where everyone's sort of competing, where lots of people are taking advantage of other people. Really, the only way to escape such a life where you're sort of in the grips of people who are being competitive is by being competitive yourself and taking advantage of people yourself. And again, this is sort of what I think a lot of the people that didn't like capitalism, that sort of was their vein of thought. But for me specifically, let me get practical here, is that I would like to become the best version of myself possible and make the world the best place possible. It's not that I would just like to, but that is my plan. And I want to do those things not because I want to look cool or because I want to fulfill my purpose, but because I want to do the thing in the world that seems most worth doing. And it seems like you come to a choice of whether to just live life and let things happen, and whatever happens and sort of settle, or you sort of have to go all out and say, I'm going to try to make the world the best place possible. And I've already said I want to make the world the best place possible, but then you come into grips of like, well, that's going to take a long time. I don't really have the resources to be able to work on that all the time. So then I have to be distracted by the things of this world in order to stay afloat. And it's just very difficult. And unless you want to escape that by doing something that would be taking advantage of someone. So it's like this weird situation that people like myself put ourselves in, where we can't escape voluntarily. It's sort of like one of the issues that I have with Christianity is that basically, if we indeed would go to a place like hell or whatnot, then someone who's like saved or not going to hell is supposedly going to get their memory wiped and going to forget that there's people that are suffering all the time. And I couldn't do that. I wouldn't want to be there making out in this better reality when there's millions and billions of people that are suffering on and on. mostly not of their own accord. They did not choose whether to be born, whether to live, anything like that. And maybe they had the choice while they were alive, but then they were given this brain that we all know how much of an issue our own brains can be. So and that's the way I feel about escaping the predicament of being distracted by all the things of this world that I need to do to stay afloat, is that I don't want to escape. Meanwhile, everyone else is still in that reality. Even though I know that if I were to escape, I would have more time to work on helping people to escape from that reality. It would sort of be like if you were in a country where it wasn't free, and so you escaped from that country in order to develop the resources and the network and develop all the things in order to help more people escape from that reality. And I just feel like a lot of times I don't want to let myself do that, because I feel like I'll be out there and it'll be more enjoyable to not be in that reality. But at the same time, like, maybe I'll get a lot more done in that reality because I won't be trapped. So that's sort of what I'm talking about when I say this is sort of the situation that somewhat decent people put themselves into in a world like we have right now. It's such a hard thing to deal with. And it's not that I'm saying life isn't fair or that it's just because I'm a good person and that's why it's not working out. But I do know for certain that if I was not such a good person, I could definitely do other things in the world that would sort of take advantage of this system, and that I could escape the current distractions of this current world, of the sort of situations that I am in order to spend more time helping people. But so it's just really hard. And I've been thinking for so long that there has to be a way to escape without taking advantage of anyone, to escape in a way that is helping everyone. And I guess the point is, I do sort of need to escape in order to have the time to do all the stuff that I sketched out in yesterday's voice journal. It would be extremely difficult to do both at the same time. Extremely difficult. So I do need to, but it's just a matter of how. Such a difficult question. And it's the situations that I put myself in, of having to live up to standards and rules and commitments that I make for myself in order to make myself a better person. Meanwhile, it's like forcing myself to stay in that in the distractions, in that like non-free city, in order to sort of feel the pain of all the other people that are there. And I think in the long term, that's how we have to think. 10, 20 years from now, 30, 40, 50, 100 years from now, if not more. Well, what's a few years living in the city, getting experience, forcing ourselves to endure, not compromising on anything? And so that's what I ultimately come back to, is like, I guess that's my fate. I'd like to be able to escape the city, to be able to spend more time working on the important things, but I don't see a way. And believe me, I've been thinking a lot about it for a long, long time. So anyway, I know I've been a little bit vague, and that's for reasons that if you don't understand, you probably will someday. All right. Thank you so much.